With the holiday season around, it's time to head to Dollar Tree and grab some of these inexpensive foam boards. In fact, first thing I gotta do is put all of the foam that I have up against the window. I'm gonna lay it on its side or straight up. It's gonna give me kind of an idea of what I wanna do. This one is a snowman. I did a silhouette with a projector and just put it right across the first foam board. Just outline all of it right around the edges. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we wanna get a good outline. That way it's easier to cut out. Place some cardboard under the foam board and you can use an X-Acto knife or any kind of razor knife to cut through. Best thing to do is go slow, be careful, these knives are sharp. Just go ahead and start cutting all the way around the edges. Doesn't have to be exact, but just go ahead and cut. Make sure you get all the way through. There's nothing more frustrating than not being able to get it out. So once you cut it through, take little sections out at a time. That makes it a lot easier, especially on these bigger projects. On this next one, this is a bunny rabbit that we have that's standing up on its hind legs. I'm using a different knife on this one just to demonstrate that you don't have to stick with just the X-Acto knife. So we'll cut out the whole thing right around the edges and we'll just pop that rabbit out. If any edges stick, just use your knife, cut it around, and then just give it a pop. These foam boards come across and come apart nice and easy. Next thing we gotta do is we're gonna put these silhouettes right up against the window. It doesn't take much, but I'm gonna use some white tape for this. That way it doesn't show against the white background. So take the tape, circle it up on each other. It doesn't take much. For this one, I just needed 2 of them, and I'm gonna place it in the window. Now, something I noticed was when I put lights behind my silhouette, the lights will show through. So take some black or royal blue and paint the back side of your silhouettes. Now, this might look like a mess, but it actually has a rhyme and a reason for it. Take those lights, these are 20-foot strands, and place it all up in the back of the silhouettes. Not too close to the edges, but as you can see, this is a test, and it's gonna look really good. The next thing we gotta do is put another layer on. I took 4 pieces of the foam board, put them together with white tape, then did a cutout of a large Christmas tree, and then put it on there. Now this one doesn't stick exactly against the window, but holds up a little bit because we're gonna put a little bit of a shadow in there. Once we do this, we're gonna head outside and we're gonna see what it looks like with it lit up. So here we go. With the lights on, you can see it. We added a little bit of blue behind the Christmas tree. There it is. And look at this. So amazing. Just lights it up for everybody out on the street to see. I hope this inspired you to build your own holiday window silhouette. With Halloween fast approaching, I got a window up front that seems a little bare. First thing I did was get the blinds off. I want to open it up for this project. Next, I want to take from Dollar Tree some black foam board. What I'm going to do is put all of this all over the window. Now, I only need it in sections where I'm going to outline or draw for the window sketch. In the middle, where my biggest project is going to go, I'm going to go ahead and double up. Between the foam boards, if they're together, you want to make sure you tape the seams. That way it comes down together. This foam board is just not tall enough, so I had to add a little bit of an extra section for the witch's hat right there. I'm also going to cover up every little square that I want some of my sketch to go. So I'm going to cover both sides, top and bottom. Also want to make sure that I cover the top window because I got a little surprise I want to add in there. Once I get everything in place that I need it, I'm going to turn on my projector. Not all of us are great artists, so I'm going to use this projector as a little bit of a cheat. I went on the internet and used one of my favorite search engines to do any searching for Halloween, silhouette, pumpkins, anything that's scary but easy to sketch out. There's plenty to choose from. In fact, there's thousands. Especially on this witch, I want to make sure I get the pointy nose, and I loved how it was doing the cauldron. You can use your projector to go in, out, make it any size you want. Once you got it all lined out, go ahead and take the foam board off, and then we've got to cut it. I went ahead and put some cardboard underneath so I don't cut through the table, and then I use an X-Acto knife. Give it a firm press and cut out all along the lines. Don't try to do too much at a time and go slow. you want to make sure that you're not going to cut your hands or anything, especially on these lines like these whiskers. You want to be very delicate so that you don't cut through. I'm going to go ahead and just go through all of the outlines right there. This is an easier sketch than some. The more complicated, yeah, it's going to look good in your window, but you're not there to overwhelm. We just want to greet all those trick-or-treaters when they come up. Once you get it all cut out, go ahead and slice a few extra sections at a time. That way you're not trying to pop out too much. Go ahead and cut littler strips and you can pull those out. Now, when it comes time to the tape that you put on the seam, no worries. Just go ahead and cut straight through that also. It will just come right out. Once you get it all cut out and it's looking good, turn it over, and I use a black electrical tape on the other side of the seam that will be facing the outside. That way it holds it together. Put the silhouette back up in the window, and here's the catch. How are you going to set it to the window? We're going to take some of that black electrical tape, fold it over on itself, and put it against the window and the foam board and press it together. Now it's time for the orange lights. Take those, unravel them, and we're going to go up and down the back side of the silhouette. We don't want the lights to show, but what you can do, make sure they're close to the outside without sticking over. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You're going to get a magical glow no matter what. It's going to look great. I put the shutters back up. Here we go. It lights up beautiful. And at the top, I went ahead and added a bat with a different color. This silhouette just turned out amazing with our big window in the front. All those trick-or-treaters that are coming up, getting treats, are going to be greeted by this wonderful art display. And the great thing about it is you can save it for next year.
For this project, you're going to start with a window. I'll be using some chalk markers for this DIY. I started by drawing some lines onto my window. I drew them any direction I wanted, from corner to corner, up and down, and then I started to embellish the lines. I added little dots, I added little stars, and I added little asterisks. Once I got the desired look with those, I grabbed a ruler and I started to draw straight lines down the center of my window. Then I added some additional lines. I wanted them all to be different lengths. Now it was time to draw shapes at the end of all of those straight lines. Again, you can draw any shapes you want. You can make more, you can make less. The choice is yours. At the top of all of the lines, I made little bows. These would represent strings that are holding each of the ornaments. Once that was complete, I grabbed my chalk marker and I started to add little dots for snow all around the window. I added them up high, down low, and then I tried to make some bigger dots and some smaller dots along the way. I added a black trash bag behind the window while I was drawing so that you could see easily what I was doing. Here's a quick look at the window at dusk. And here's another look of the window when it's dark outside. I think the chalk really pops. And I hope this inspires you to make a scene on your window.
Let's turn this old window box into something a little more festive for Christmas. I started by planting 2 mini pine trees on each side of the window box. Then I placed some cedar and pine sprigs all around the center of the box. You can actually get cut Christmas tree branches for free at Lowe's Home Improvement, which is what I did to fill up the majority of the box. I also added in a cedar garland and laid it all around the window box to fill it in more. Once I was happy with the placement of all the greenery, I decided to add in some gold picks. This window box sits directly under our tree by the window and it has a gold theme, so since you could see that as well, I wanted to stay consistent. After placing all the picks around the window box, I added in some Christmas lights to give it some extra sparkle at night. I started by wrapping it around the pine tree on the side of the box and going all the way around to the other side with the lights. And now my window box is much more festive and cheerful for the season.
Pick up a pack of these LED pillars from Walmart and we're going to turn them into Pottery Barn inspired candles. I went to the craft store and I found the perfect piece of paper. I'm going to cut it down to size, wrap it around the candle, and just secure it with a piece of tape. I'm going to use a craft knife to trim that off. These LED pillars have a wax coating on the outsides. You're gonna grab a hairdryer or a heat gun and a piece of burlap. I'm just gonna heat up the wax until it just starts to melt. Then I'm gonna wrap the burlap around the candle and apply pressure so I can get the pattern of the burlap onto the candle. I'm gonna let this cool and then I'm gonna add some paint. Grab a flameless candle and paint it gold. Once it's dry, I'm gonna come back in with a craft sponge and some metallic brown paint. I wanna give this candle a vintage look.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up patterned tissue paper, glass pillar candles, and a clear bowl. Use Mod Podge and a sponge brush to apply the tissue paper to the bowl, on the back side wrapping it around the top. Take pillar candles and melt them down in a double boiler slowly. Take candle wicks and hot glue them into place on the inside of the bowl. Once the wax has melted, slowly pour it into the bowls. Once the wax dries, cut the wicks to be the appropriate size, then you can light them.
Let me show you how I turned a couple glass bowls into these Pottery Barn dupes. Put 1 coat of spray paint and primer on the bowls. With the Rub and Buff, I was able to put on 1 layer and achieve the aged look that I wanted. Turn it over and then paint the bottom the other side of your bowls. I cut the ring off the pacifier and snapped a small piece of the shower curtain ring off and glued them. Here I used wax cubes, melted them down, and then you pour that into the bowl. For your wicks, you can get a kit off of Amazon and use the popsicle sticks with the hole to help make sure that your wicks stand up straight.
We're going to start by taping some white tissue paper onto the front of some white bond paper. Then we're going to take an image that we really like and we are going to feed this through our printer. Next, we're going to cut off the tape area and we're going to cut out each of our images so it's only the tissue paper. You're going to grab a plain white candle, any size you want, and we're going to use a heat gun. If you don't have that, you can use a blow dryer. Now we're going to grab some wax wax paper or some freezer paper. So the wax side you want right on top of your image. Then we take our heat gun and we keep heating it. You're going to start to see the image come through. This one, I just decided to test it out if I was just to take the heat gun and the tissue paper. That seemed to work really well. We're going to take our Santa candle and we are going to peel off that freezer paper. And then I just added the heat gun just a little more.
Saw some candles from Pottery Barn. I thought it'd be fun to try making them myself. I'm going to put a little glue into a small container and then add a bit of paint. Now that I have the glue tinted, I'm going to paint it all over the glass dish on the outside. I'm going to leave these for a few hours before moving on. Using some Mod Podge, I'm going to paint it around the dishes. I can sprinkle the white glitter all over it, and then when it dries, the glitter will stay in place. I grabbed these pillar candles from the dollar store, and I'm going to melt them down. I'm just going to use a couple of skewers to hold the wicks in place. I want to add some essential oil to give my candles a beautiful scent. It's time to fill the glass dishes. The final thing to do is to remove the skewers and then trim the wicks.
Separate the layers of a patterned paper napkin. Cut the paper napkin as needed. Now we are going to actually iron the paper napkin onto the taper. Heat and iron to medium-low heat, not too hot. Fill a heat-safe container with hot water between 100 and 110 degrees. Place a taper candle in the hot water and let sit for 10 minutes. Paraffin candle works best for this. After 10 minutes, pull the candle from the water and then wrap the candle in some wax paper. Take a rolling pin and press down on the middle of the candle. Once the middle section is flattened, take the candle and gently twist it into the shape that you want. When you get the twist that you want, place the candle in cold water and this will set the candle in its new shape. Take painter's tape and tape off sections on a taper candle. Make sure that the edges are pressed down securely on the edges of the tape. Once taped off, paint light coats of acrylic paint in the open sections of the candle in the color or colors of your choice. Let dry completely.
You want to pick up 2 bowls. Make sure they are ceramic or glass and that they are heat proof. I took them home and I'm going to give them a coat of spray paint. Once the paint is dry, these bowls have a really nice textured look. I'm just going to use some really strong glue to adhere them together. In the top bowl, I am going to add 3 wicks. I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to secure them to the bottom. Then I'm going to grab 2 wooden skewers and wrap the wick around the skewers. This is just going to hold everything in place. Great way to make your own candles is to reuse existing candle wax. I have a couple of these Dollar Tree tall pillar candles and I'm going to place them in some boiling water. Now make sure you're wearing gloves. These can get really hot. And I'm just going to gently boil this until all the wax is melted. Pour the wax from all the candles into a metal container with a handle. I'm opting to add a little essential oil for some scent. And now we're just going to pour that melted wax. Then you're going to want to walk away for about 24 hours. When it is completely set, you can trim the wicks down and use your candle.
Go to your local dollar store and grab 1 or 2 of these light up candles. Go and grab some fake floral arrangements as well too. So what I'm doing is I'm prepping the surface. Now I'm going and cutting some of these little fake ferns. Now take your fern or whatever you're going to be sticking down onto the candle, heat it up, and then slowly start to stick it down. Now for this one, which is the dollar store one, you want to make sure that you tape the bottom. If you get any candle wax down here, it's not going to work anymore. Cut off any extra tape, go and heat up a candle, go and tape the bottom of a container. After it's taped and sealed, flip it over, go and line up the candle that you have right in the center. While that candle wax is melting, I'm going to cut some more of these little ferns, some of these berries, start to arrange everything on the sides, and then start to go and pour your candle wax. And now it needs to sit for at least 24 hours. So let's go and get this out. And this should slide right out. Clean up the sides a bit with your heat gun, let it cool down.
Grab a lemon orange, or grapefruit and cut it in half lengthwise. Take a knife and carefully score the fruit. Scoop out all of the fruit and set aside for something to be eaten later. Take a cotton candle wick or a wood wick. Check to make sure that it can stand upright when placed inside the empty fruit skin. I was able to scoop out a mango. With any of these fruits, it is important to soak up any excess moisture from the inner skin with a towel. Pour candle wax flakes into a candle pouring pot. Place the pot into another pan or double boiler filled with a few inches of boiling water. As the wax flakes melt, stir with a wooden spoon until all is melted and you have clear liquid wax. Pour onto the bottom of a piece of fruit. Place the candle wick in its stand in the puddle of wax and hold it for a few seconds until it is able to stand on its own. You can leave it as is at this point, or you can add another layer of scent by sprinkling dried herbs. Let the wax cool and set for at least 30 minutes before you move them.
Grab yourself some candles from the dollar store. Quite simply, I'm using acrylic paint and I'm making a 5-petaled flower. I'm going to paint that up and down and all around the candle. When the flowers are dry, add in a little dot of yellow paint. And then picking up some green paint, now I've got some lavender blue paint on my palette. When you've gone all around the candle with the lavender blue, then I picked up some of the pink paint and added in a few little dots just on one side of the flower. Then, cleaning my brush, I picked up some green paint and added in a stalk. Now on my palette, I've got some orange paint and some shocking pink paint. And I'm going to make a suggestion of a tulip shape and added in a stalk and a suggestion of a leaf to each of my flowers.
Grab a package of dollar store champagne glasses and remove the bottom caps. Give these caps a couple of quick coats of spray paint in your favorite color. Take some round Christmas ornaments and remove the top caps from the ornaments. Using a stainless steel barbecue skewer, heat the tip of the skewer over a candle flame and poke a hole through the ornament. Cut a piece of a bamboo skewer, fill the top of one of the champagne glass caps with hot glue. Stick the bamboo stick into the puddle of hot glue. Slide the Christmas ornaments onto the bamboo stick, using the holes on both ends of the ornaments. Put some hot glue on top of the highest ornament and place the other champagne glass cap on top. Take some larger faux pearls that can be found at the dollar store and glue them into the grooves between the ornaments. Grab some tinsel garland and some square wire wreath forms from your favorite dollar store. Place 2 of the square wreath forms on their side to create an upright L shape. Using small zip ties, connect one side of each frame to the other. Now that you've got one wreath form left, lay it on top to create a box. Take a tinsel garland and hot glue one end of the garland to a corner at the bottom of the wreath frame box. Carefully wind the garland around the bottom of the frame box and continue to wrap, working your way upwards. Periodically, use a little hot glue to anchor the garland to the box. Take another garland and start to cover the top. Every wrapped present needs some ribbon and a bow, and this present needs a big bow.
Grab some cheap Christmas bells from the Dollar Tree. Then cut off all the greenery and ribbon attached. Take the bells outside and spray paint them black. Let them dry, then come back over them with a metallic gold spray paint. Let some of the black shine through. Let them dry again and add some twine to the bells.
Grab 2 of these mirrors and then pick up some wooden dowel rods. Spray paint the dowel rods black and let them dry completely. Squeeze a small dollop of clear adhesive glue to the bottom of one of the dowel rods and then press it into one of the corners of the mirror octagon. Take your second mirror octagon and flip it upside down. Squeeze a small dollop of clear adhesive onto each corner of the mirror bottom. Flip it back over and carefully align the corners of the mirror with the tops of the wooden dowel rods. Tuck a small green wreath and colorful tree ornament into the bottom of your lantern and add a votive candle and festive jingle bells to the top.
Pick up 6 clear plastic punch bowls from Dollar Tree. Cut a round hole in the bottom of each punch bowl and then glue the bowls together top to top with hot glue. Take the 6 attached bowls and then glue the bases of the bowls together so that you have 3 bowl balls stacked vertically. Take an LED fairy light strand, wrap the string lights around a wood dowel and thread them through the center holes. Distribute the fairy lights into each bowl. Place the bowl stack on top of a planter of choice. Hot glue the bow.
We're going to start with the reef frame. Grab a metal clipper. I want to go around each one of the rings and clip off the metal. We're also going to grab some yarn. I put some cardboard down, grab some hot glue, and I'm going to grab that yarn. I'm going to tack it on there and roll it around and work your way around. Once you get all 3 of the same size ring put together, we are going to put them in place by putting them inside each other. But what we got to do is keep them together. So that's where the zip tie comes in. Cut off the excess, and then we're going to turn it over and do the same on the bottom. Now it's time for some fairy lights. These are perfect. What we want to do is take some hot glue on the bottom, and we're going to put the switch and glue it down there. And then what we're going to do is start wrapping it all the way around all of the arms. We got to grab a cup and maybe a little twist tie or something. I'm going to put it through my little cup. Again, I picked this up at Dollar Tree. So put that on there, and you're going to twist tie that around.
Let's create some Christmas decor using ornament balls and pool noodles. Start by connecting the ends of the pool noodles using duct tape. Now, connect the other ends to create a complete circle with the pool noodles. Next, create a hanger. Start gluing the ornament balls to the outer perimeter of the pool noodle circle. Here is a tip to consider. Don't put the glue directly on the pool noodle because the pool noodle will melt. Instead, put the glue on the ornament and let it cool for just a couple of seconds before attaching the ornament to the outside of the pool noodle. As you add ornaments and continue around the circle, you're going to want to put a little bit of glue in between the ornaments. Once most of the pool noodle surface is covered, start to glue smaller sized ornaments to fill in the gaps. You can take it one step further and glue small picks of greenery or other Christmas picks to fill in the gaps.
Just start with 2 pool noodles, put some hot glue on the ends here. So join those 2 at the end just like this. Take some white duct tape, and we're gonna put this on here. So that's gonna hold it together along with the glue. I'll leave that on there. Go ahead and start at one end over here. So you take your tape, just start right there at the end, twist and tape all the way down to the end. I grabbed this tape from the Dollar Tree, and it's gonna be able to wrap the whole thing for you. Now that we've got our noodle wrapped, what we're gonna do is go back to the beginning, and we're gonna run about 2 good glue strips here of hot glue. And then what you're gonna do is right at the 6-inch mark, go ahead and squeeze this over, just like this. And we're gonna join these 2 pieces together. You've gotta hold this down while you're working on it. Run another set of glue, just like that. We're gonna continue along the whole thing, running glue, folding it over. And we're gonna do this all the way to the end. Once we get to the end, what we're gonna do is put the last bit of glue on there, and we will roll it up. You're gonna grab yourself some rubber bands. Once we get that first rubber band on, go ahead and put one more. After about 5 minutes, we can go ahead and take the rubber bands off, and it will hold. Take a pair of scissors, and right next to where the end is of the pool noodle, we're gonna go ahead and puncture it. Make like a cross. The farther in you can go, the better. Stab it in just like that. Turn it 90 degrees. Go in one more time just like that. Just fill the hole with hot glue and just put your stick right in there. Next, I went to the dollar store and grabbed a cellophane bag, and you'll stick the whole project right inside just like this. And then we're gonna bunch it up at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it in ribbon.
I found green pool noodles. I'm going to take these home and make a project with them. The first thing I'm going to do is take my pool noodle, and we're obviously going to take the sticker off. And then I'm going to take my vinyl coated clothesline wire and push it all the way through my pool noodle. Pull it over and make a loop. And I'm just going to take a piece of duct tape, and I'm just going to wrap this around and just wrap that right around there. I'm going to take a heavy duty piece of floral wire and bend it over. Take a little piece of that duct tape, tape that loop over, and I'm going to take a screwdriver and just push a hole right through it. Take this needle and pull it into the hole that I've made. Take my dollar store garland through the eye of that needle and bend it over really tightly, and then pull it right through the hole. There we go. I'm gonna push my loop down in there and just feed the end of that. And now all I'm gonna do is take my garland and wrap it around. And when we get to the other end, we're gonna do the same thing that we did at the top end. I have a glue gun. Make sure it's on low temp. And we're going to take some ribbon and wrap it right around the pool noodle. You wanna take some hot glue around the top of your ornaments. Take some floral wire, thread 3 of these dollar store ornaments, and turn it upside down and put these underneath. And I'm going to wrap my floral wire around my pool noodle and then wrap this back around through my ornaments and twist it one more time. I always tuck the ends of the wire in. I have a command hook attached up here at the top of my door, and I'm going to take this little loop and hang that right on that loop. So here you can see how that pool noodle at the bottom is going to hold this up. I'm going to use one more command hook and I'm going to hook it right up here. So the last thing I need to do is add a small bow right here.
I saw these foil trays at the dollar store. I'm gonna start by creating a pattern out of paper. I wanna make 8 of these petals, and then I'm gonna make one a little smaller. This is gonna be the middle of my flower. Now it's time to add the petals to the cardboard circle. Bend up the edges. So I'm gonna paint them all red. I'm gonna cut out 2 leaves for each of the flowers. I'm gonna add some salt wash to the paint, and I'll mix it all in, making sure to get lots of texture. It's time to add the leaves and centers.
We're going to go and cut a stress ball in half. Now we're going to cut just about 3 to 5 pieces of this. Now what I'm cutting is I'm cutting a point to the front of this, and then at the end I'm leaving it a little bit blocky. Now that all of your petals and leaves are cut out, we're going to go and start to use some wire reinforcement. Cutting it down, leaving just about an inch, a small piece of a cut sheet of this yellow paper, and we're going to cut these little lines down. We're going to go and twist each of these cut areas, and we're going to go and lay this around the entire piece. Now we're going to go and start to glue the petals and take some more green paper. Then I went and I wrapped it with some floral tape. The largest one in the center and the 2 small ones at the sides.
I'm just going to cut the pool noodle. I've cut my craft paper. I've made sure it overlaps a little bit. I'm going to crunch it up. I am going to just rip it into strips. I'm going to take my pool noodle and I'm just going to draw around it in a circle time. I've got some tacky glue, so just a quick drop of water, and I'm going to add some glue around this top area. And I'm literally going to just get to the end and pop a little bit of glue there. Add some glue to this top part here, pop that onto there. Take a couple of pieces of TP and I'm going to lightly cover my birch tree. Pull it all the way, apply a little bit of artistic license here. This. So I'm going to start thinking about making some of those little birch tree marks.
Save those cardboard boxes and make this. I started by wrapping a single sheet of cardboard in marble paper. Then I grabbed 2 rectangular boxes and I'm gonna wrap these in the brick paper. Then I'm gonna grab another square piece of cardboard and wrap that in brick as well. Now let's put it together. I've got a base, 2 sides, a back, and a mantle. Now let's decorate it. I wanna put some logs in my fireplace. Now I can just place these in my fireplace. They are pretty lightweight, so I might use some Scotch tape to keep them in place. I'm gonna grab some fairy lights, some battery operated lights. Save your pickle jars, especially the large ones. They can make beautiful seasonal decor. Put it in a bath of warm, soapy water. Make sure you get that pickle odor out of there. Take that label right off. Start by grabbing a roll of contact paper. Cut out a little star shape, and I'm just gonna trace it onto the contact paper. And I'm gonna cut out about a dozen stars in different sizes. Peel the back off and place them all around your pickle jar. Once all the stars are placed, it's time to paint this. We are going to use a frosted glass spray paint. So once you've got 2 coats on there, grab a tweezer and we're gonna pull off those stars right away. I'm gonna use some rope from the dollar store and a Christmas sprig with some red berries and some green leaves. Once all the embellishments are on, I'm gonna use a battery-powered tea light to drop on the inside.
paint this with White as Owl's Chalk Synthesis paint and Antique Via. So I've painted around the entire box, right? Recycled trolley crate decoupage paper is what we're gonna be using today. I'm gonna take this plastic wrap and I'm just gonna like ball it up and make myself like a little pad. I'm gonna do this in sections. So I'm gonna put this first row down. Now I'm gonna have a few wrinkles, but I'm not gonna stress about those because once the paper dries, those wrinkles will go away. Fold this back and do the next section. Let's get the rest of this decoupaged. We painted in a little bit on the insides of these. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little product along here and I'm gonna fold this paper over. So I'm just gonna go along the corner here and I'm able to trim both pieces of paper at the same time. I'm just gonna kind of decoupage it and lay it down and it's barely noticeable. And decoupage these bottom flaps down under my box.
Just take that long tube that you got from the wrapping paper and you're going to cut it right in half. Here's our paper towel holder. We're going to just keep cutting tubes until we go all the way up to the top of our tree. Once we got all of those cut out, let's put the trunk on. Next, we're going to grab some fabric. This fabric's going to roll over the tube. Once you get that cut out, run you a bead of hot glue down the cardboard tube. Roll the tube right into place. On the outside, just put a bead of glue and just start tucking it in. Once we got at least 2 tubes that are covered in the fabric, run a bead of glue, put these 2 tubes together, just keep on going, and I use some burlap also in there to intermingle. Last but not least, look at that trunk. Let's grab us a paint stick, put some glue on the backside, turn it over, and that is going to get pressed onto the fabric and it's going to give it some stiffness. Now we're going to flip it back over. It's time to decorate.
Paint this inside part with some dark blue acrylic paint. Once this was dry, I've cut the edges of the plate off. Got here some copper acrylic paint. I'm going to stencil through. So once it was dry, I took a pencil and drew around the contours of this stencil, and now I'm cutting it out. I have some just regular Elmer's glue, and I'm going to add to that some glitter and paint it all over my snowflake. Leave that to dry. I'm going to put a little dab of glue and then stick it on my snowflake.
Pick up 6 clear plastic punch bowls from Dollar Tree. Cut a round hole in the bottom of each punch bowl and then glue the bowls together top to top with hot glue. Take the 6 attached bowls and then glue the bases of the bowls together so that you have 3 bowl balls stacked vertically. Take an LED fairy light strand, wrap the string lights around a wood dowel and thread them through the center holes. Distribute the fairy lights into each bowl. Place the bowl stack on top of a planter of choice. Hot glue the bow. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 2 paper towel holders. Guide the centerpiece of the towel holder through the floral foam. Begin adding florals to the base. Stack the second paper towel holder directly on top and add more florals to it to cover the foam entirely. Take a strand of gems and attach to the top of the stacked paper towel holders. Attach it to the top of the paper towel holder base.
Open the tea light package and remove your tea lights. Pull gently on the wick. Place as many tea lights as you think you need in the saucepan and bring the water to a boil. Pour enough wax on the parchment paper to surround your cookie cutter and then set your cookie cutter on the wax and press down. Fill in the cookie cutters almost to the very top. Now the wicks on the Dollar Tree tea lights are really short, so I waited to add them to the top layer of the wax. I added the faux snow to the melted wax and poured that onto the very top layer. You can pop off the excess wax. Place my cookie cutters on a Pyrex pie plate. I took a length of garland and made it into a wreath shape.
Let me show you how I turned a couple glass bowls into these Pottery Barn dupes.
Put 1 coat of spray paint and primer on the bowls. With the Rub and Buff, I was able to put on 1 layer and achieve the aged look that I wanted. Turn it over and then paint the bottom
the other side of your bowls. I cut the ring off the pacifier and snapped a small piece of the shower curtain ring off and glued them. Here I used wax cubes, melted them down, and then you pour that into the bowl. For your wicks, you can get a kit off of Amazon and use the popsicle sticks with the hole to help make sure that your wicks stand up straight.
We are going to paint all the ornaments with chalk paint. Grab some air dry clay, press the clay to fill all the gaps without leaving any air bubbles. After a few minutes, carefully remove the molded pieces. Do not wait until the clay is dry. You want to shape it around the curves of the ornaments. Now let the glue and the clay dry before painting it the same color as the ornament. Once the paint is dry, carefully brush some gold ribbon buff over the raised detail. For the next look, we are using a light beige color. Top that off with a coat of pearly glaze. Make a tiny hole at the bottom of the ornament to feed the wire through. Fold the wire in half and string a tiny bead halfway, and then give the wire a good twist. String 3 or 4 bigger pearls onto the double wire. Now feed the wire all the way through the ornament. Wrap the wire around the neck of the ornament before replacing the cap. For our third finish, use a firm sponge to dab half of your ornament with your gold ribbon buff. Now we can add some ribbon and bows to hang our ornaments.
Grab some clear ornaments and start popping the silver tops off. Fill up a bottle with some white distilled vinegar. Spray the ornaments with the vinegar all over. While the vinegar is still wet, spray some metallic spray paint on top. Then spray another layer of vinegar over that and let it dry. While the ornaments are drying, apply some ribbon buff to your ornament tops to make them look more aged and distressed.
I have these unfinished wood ornaments. Let's start by doing a base coat of white chalk style paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut her off. We're gonna need a piece of plastic, and we're gonna put the plastic on top of the wood, and then I'm going to position my paper. I'm gonna take my Teflon sheet. You can use either some parchment paper or a blank piece of tissue paper. You're gonna be applying heat and pressure in order for this to work, and I think everything is adhered. I'm gonna use a simple emery board to trim this piece. And there we are. We're gonna seal them really quickly. I'll be using Wise Owl's 1 Hour Enamel in clear matte.
These little Christmas ornaments are just not my style, so I decided to give them a makeover. By removing the tops and popping in a skewer, I have a way to stand them up. I want to create some texture, add in some baking soda while I'm painting them. Now that the paint's dry, I want to add a powder coating to the smooth ones. I'm going to use some clear glue and then roll the ornament in the baking soda. For the ornaments that I added the texture to, I want to do the same process, but this time I'm going to use cocoa powder to dust them. The final thing I want to do is add a little bit of metallic bronze paint. While the ornaments are drying, I want to change up the little caps that go on the top. I grabbed some glass ornaments at Michael's. I've grabbed some of my favorite molds. Before adding any clay to my molds, I want to brush them with cornstarch. I'm going to use little pieces and make sure to push it into all of the little details. I want to work with the clay while it's still wet and moldable so that I can wrap each one around the ornament. Before attaching them to the ornaments though, I want to give them some color. I'm going to use a thin layer of tacky glue to stick the clay to the glass. Now that the glue is dry, is to add some beautiful ribbon.
Baking soda and Christmas decor? You bet. First, remove the caps from the tops of the ornament balls. Mix together equal parts flour and our magic ingredient, baking soda. Next, we're going to spray paint the ornaments. After you spray paint the ornament, drench it in the flour and baking soda mixture. I advise doing this one ornament at a time and wear some gloves. It can get a little messy. After painting and dunking, let the ornaments dry. Put the cap back on the ornament. Using a small paintbrush, gently brush off the excess flour mixture.
We need to go ahead and remove the top off of the ornament. You just want a little bit of water. We're gonna add quite a bit of paint and we're gonna mix it. Move it around so it coats the entire inside of the ornament. Once we kind of get it going, we're gonna turn it upside down onto the cup and let it dry. And when it dries, you're going to end up with a navy ball or whatever color you choose, just like this. We're going to put the topper back on. We're going to use the Mod Podge. Once you have the Mod Podge on, it is time to start with the leafing. Set this one aside. I'm going to let it dry. So we're going to use this gentle paintbrush and we're going to go through and we're just going to gently tap and brush the leafing.
I grabbed a couple of sticks from my backyard. To secure it, I'm gonna take a little bit of hot glue and we're gonna just place it like that. And then give that a few minutes to harden up. I'm gonna take some wire now and tie a knot where the two sticks join together with a little bit of hot glue. Further secure it by tying it around all of these twigs. Now that we've worked in some greenery right on top of this, we're gonna take those two ends of those sticks and poke them right into the styrofoam. Now I have some other greenery. I'm gonna actually work these in the back, kind of like a little forest. Now I have an adorable baby outfit, and I think this will make the ultimate baby shower gift.
Grab a glass jar or any type of container to use as your center. We're gonna wrap one towel around this jar. Then I'm gonna wrap a second towel around this one. To cover up the rubber band, I just grabbed some decorative ribbon, wrapped it around, and I'm using some hot glue to seal them together. Now we're gonna grab our third towel, roll this up tightly and secure it with a rubber band, and then wrap the fourth towel around that one, securing it with a rubber band as well. And I'm adding that decorative ribbon to the next layer too. Now I can take this piece and set it on top of the first layer. Now I'm gonna start decorating it. And anything you stick in the cake can just stick in between all the folds of those towels.
Head to Dollar Tree and grab yourself some microfiber towels, some dishcloth, and some various other kitchen items. So I'm going to take a bath towel first, and I'm just going to roll it around as you see here and connect it at the end. Then I'm going to take a disposable cake platter sheet and I'm going to put that underneath. Then I'm going to take my dishcloths here, tri-fold them, and then I'm going to layer them on top of each other, and then I'm going to grab them all together and I'm going to wrap them around my bath towel. I'm going to take a microfiber towel and then I'm going to wrap that around all the other towels. Then I'm going to take a candle here and I'm going to place it in the middle, and then I'm going to roll up some more of the smaller microfiber towels into these neat little sausage rolls, and I'm going to secure them with an elastic, and I'm going to continue doing this until I have enough microfiber towels to go all around. Then I'm going to take another decorative microfiber towel, wrap that around these and secure that as well. I'm just going to take my last microfiber towel and I'm going to do a tri-fold, and then I'm going to roll it up, leaving the center kind of open. I'm going to secure this one with twine, and then I'm going to place it on top, and then I'm going to take all the kitchen tools that I bought and I'm going to slide them down inside. To cover the elastics that are going around, I'm just going to use this pretty ribbon and attach that at the back. bye.